Here we are. You're a real estate agency or a real estate developer watching this video about the 6 steps on how to grow your real estate business. And you're probably watching this video because you're stuck in the same loop over and over again. You grow your business a little bit, you make profits, but you want to grow more. So you start investing it into a marketing company or another form of marketing, only to spend a lot of money and then lose it all again. Only to then return to everything that was working before. Your network, referrals, and using portals. Making all the money back that you lost and having money to invest again. You decide to try it again and invest into a lead generator, a marketing company, or you try to do it yourself. And the end result is the same. You invest a lot without anything in return. And you keep being stuck in this same loop over and over again. And at some point, you're done. And I completely understand you. And this must be frustrating. I speak to dozens of real estate agencies and developers every single month. And they come to me with this exact problem. But what if I told you it's not the fault of only the quality of the leads, or only your follow-up, or the fault of your team, or the fault of the specific marketing strategy? What if I told you it's the process? It's not only lead generation, it's client acquisition. And somewhere in the process, something is not working the way it's supposed to work. Whether it's the leads, whether it's the follow-up, whether it's the company structure, or your leadership skills. There are so many factors and variables that have an effect on if your marketing and sales is getting results or not. And for every company, it's different. But in the end, the process is not working. And the process is broken. And that's what I'm going to show you today. In this video, I'm going to explain the exact 6-step formula that we've created with Lead Estate to make sure that you generate leads, but also convert them into actual qualified appointments for your sales team to close deals. The entire process from A to Z that will exactly identify where your obstacles are. Before I even talk about the exact 6 steps in the growth formula, there's one thing that we need to talk about. When I speak to most real estate agencies or developers, they have big dreams and they want to achieve a lot with their company and grow their company. But there's one thing that 99% doesn't do, and that is being extremely specific on what their actual goal is. What I'm saying is, if you're not extremely specific on what the goals are that you want to achieve, and back these goals by clear KPIs and numbers, you are not able to implement the right processes to make sure that you hit that goal. We call this your point A and your point B. Your point A is where you are now, your current revenue, or the revenue that you did last year. Your point B is where you want to go. What is your goal? What is your target? How do you want your company to look like? Specifically, and not vague. But why is this important? Let me give you an example. A few months ago, I was visiting a real estate agency that did 500,000 euros in revenue last year. And I asked the question, how much revenue do you want to do this year? And he said, I think 1.5 million. So I asked, is this a specific goal that you've thought about? Or is this something that you just want? He answered with, yeah, it's 1 million. So I asked him the question, is it 1 million? Or is it 1.5 million? And there you could already see that he was not specific about his point B. So how can he align all his actions if he's not sure on where he actually wants to go? We finally settled on that he wanted to make 1 million euros in revenue this year. Meaning that the gap between last year and this year, the gap between point A and point B, is 500,000 euros. Now we're going to reverse engineer what is needed to make sure that we make an extra 500,000. If on average you make 50,000 euros per deal and you want to do an extra 500,000, we need to do 10 extra deals this year to make sure we reach that goal, on top of what you're already doing. My next question was, how much sales appointments do you need to do to make sure you can close one deal? At first, he didn't really know, which is the first problem, because you always want to know your numbers. After looking into all the numbers, we realized that he needed 5 appointments to close one deal. If we need to make an extra 10 deals on average to get to 500,000 extra per year, and the closing rate is 20%, that means that we need to create an extra 50 appointments this year to make sure that we hit that goal. Let's say the show-up rate is about 66%. That means that we need to schedule 75 sales meetings, of which 50 people actually show up. But this is not where it stops, because we can reverse engineer even more. When we at Lead Estate work with clients, on average, about 20% of all of our leads convert into an appointment. That means that we need to generate an extra 375 leads this year. So the only thing that we needed to do now is to figure out what the cost of a lead is, whether it's from online advertising, whether it's from organic marketing, from portals, from your network, etc. And then we know exactly which marketing budget we need to spend to make sure we hit that goal. At the end, when we figured this out, the founder looked at me and he was blown away. He had never realized that it can be so simple. He just never made the time and he never slowed down to actually focus on the numbers and reverse engineer what he actually needed to do to make sure to hit his goals. So this is exactly why it's so essential that you're extremely specific on your point B, and then reverse engineer all the numbers so you know exactly where to put your time, energy, and money in order to reach that point B. So now you might think, it all sounds so simple. I wish it was that easy. And I completely agree with you. And that is exactly why we've created the 6-step growth formula for you to implement everything the correct way by focusing on the entire process and not just the leads. But I can't explain you how to make it work if you're not clear on point B. Write down your point A, write down your point B, and slow down on the numbers and what the gap is between A and B for you to then reverse engineer what you need to do. I assume that you've done this exercise and that we can really take a look at how to implement the exact process to make sure that you hit that point B. Now that's clear, let me show you how to actually achieve it. As you can see next to me, this is how the exact growth formula looks in practice. This process might seem overwhelming for now. To not make it overwhelming and, again, make it very simple, we've broken all of this down into 6 simple steps. Generate, relationship management, outreach, winning deals, tracking data, and high standards. Each of these 6 steps will focus on one specific element in the entire process. But it's extremely important to know that if you skip one of these steps, it will have a massive negative impact on the eventual results. During this video series, we are going to cover each of the 6 steps separately and tell you exactly what you need to focus on, what to do, and especially what not to do, to make sure that you operate as efficient as possible in each of the 6 steps. And by going through these steps, you will be able to identify the exact obstacles that you are facing in your business. Maybe the leads that you generate are quality, but your team is just not following up. Maybe your process is just too chaotic and you have no idea what's actually happening in your business. Or maybe it's as simple as you're not spending enough money on advertisement. And it is my goal that at the end of this video series, you will be able to exactly identify which obstacle it is for you, so we can make an impact on your business so you can grow to your point B. I'm looking forward to take you on this journey and explain everything in the next coming videos. But remember, I can't make an impact if you don't do the work. So make sure you get clear on your point A and point B before you continue to the next video. Because without your point B, you can't be specific in what you need to do to reach it. Thank you for watching this video. I'm looking forward to share everything in the rest of the series. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the following videos and all the other content that we make on the Lead Estate channel. I'll see you next time.